In the 2025 NCAA men's basketball tournament, UC San Diego made the bracket in just their first year of eligibility. They had been transitioning into Division I athletics since 2020 and fully became a Division I school in 2024.
One of the best stories you will find anywhere in sports.
Success stories like this could happen fairly frequently as teams move up into D1 every few years or so. But what about the opposite? In this same tournament, another team made the bracket. In just 7 days after their game, they announced their intentions to drop Division I athletics entirely. This isn't normal. Teams don't usually move down. The amount of D1 teams generally only ever increases. On a surface level, it almost makes no sense. St. Francis was just 1 week removed from playing in a March Madness game on national television, and earlier in the athletics season, their FCS football team upset FBS Kent State, beating them by 6 points. Now, Kent State didn't actually win any games that season, but it is still an FBS program. But regardless, it's not like they didn't have success as an athletics program, so why? Well, the good news is that I don't have to speculate because the chairman of the school put out a statement explaining exactly why this decision was made. To paraphrase what he said, this decision came down to 2 factors. First, St. Francis is a Catholic school, and they felt that things like the transfer portal and NIL deals took away from playing for the love of the sport. Additionally, he cited having to travel between Boston and Chicago just to play conference games. Continuing with the money side of sports, since that's what drives the bus behind these decisions, the Northeast Conference geography compared to other conferences is actually pretty small, but while they don't have 2 teams on the West Coast when the rest of the conference is on the East Coast, these teams don't have anywhere near as much money to be able to afford doing that and still turn a profit. Keep in mind, the majority of college sports run at a deficit anyways, and this goes beyond football or basketball. St. Francis didn't see a point in spending all this money on traveling for every sport like volleyball or wrestling, especially with scholarships in the picture. By dropping down to Division III, St. Francis can join a conference more geographically aligned with their location in Loretto, Pennsylvania, and they don't have to worry about scholarships for their athletes. St. Francis is losing money and media attention by doing this, but to them, it's not worth the increased travel costs. Another issue is that in the age of NIL, smaller D1 schools like St. Francis naturally struggle to recruit, as they don't have the media coverage or money to spend on athletes. As a result, the bottom tier of D1 teams, in terms of athletics budgets, are the biggest losers. In this regard, St. Francis will have a much easier time recruiting at the non-scholarship Division III level. I think it goes without saying that despite the cost-saving benefits, there are a few consequences that can't be ignored. Like I previously mentioned, St. Francis is essentially giving up national relevance and media money. I know the Northeast Conference isn't getting a whole lot of media coverage anyways, but a March Madness appearance will always help a school out. But going beyond money, the biggest consequence falls on the athletes. They had to choose between preparing to drop divisions or leaving their school to find a new home altogether. Future athletes had to essentially make the same choice as well. Either Division I athletics or St. Francis. It's between the sport and the school. You can't have both. The money doesn't matter in this case, the athletes are the ones who suffer the most, but these temporary road bumps clear up once the move is final, so in the long run, it'll work out.
As St. Francis has pulled it off here on the road at Dick Stadium.
I don't want to downplay the effect this decision has on athletes. However, it seems that St. Francis is content with their choice. They won't have to spend tons of money on travel costs across the Midwest, and they'll align more with the values the school wants to uphold. I personally wish they stayed D1, and it sucks that the modern economic landscape of college athletics claimed a casualty, but hopefully all will work out for the athletes, school, and Northeast Conference. That's all I have for this video, so if you've made it up to this point, I sincerely thank you for watching, and until next time.